This is WOR New York. Now, you stay tuned for Lester Smith with the news.
This is the news in detail on the hour from the WOR newsroom. 2 patrolmen were wounded tonight by gunshot at Caldwell Avenue and Boston Road in the Bronx. First police report said that the 2 officers were not in critical condition at the Bronx Lebanon Hospital. One was shot in the hand, the other in the groin. There are no details yet on how they were shot, but there is a police armal out for 2 men. The shooting occurred just before 10:30. United States Military Command has acknowledged the loss of 2 more B-52s in the North Vietnam bombing missions. This brings to 10 the number of the giant bombers down by North Vietnamese anti-aircraft fire since Monday. With the new command policy of not reporting the exact number of men aboard the bombers, there could be possibly up to 57 men listed as missing from the B-52s and other American aircraft shot down since the heavy bombing raids began on Monday. Meanwhile, the bombing attacks on North Vietnamese targets continued. President Nixon sticks by his announced Vietnam objective. WR's Clifford Evans reports from the Florida White House.
The White House will not say whether or not we will halt our bombing of North Vietnam over the Christmas holiday. But here at the Florida White House, the President's spokesman, Ronald-Ziegler, says, at this Christmas time, Mr. Nixon is concerned for our prisoners of war, is determined to take every step he can to bring them home. Ziegler said that the President will take every step he can to reach the right kind of settlement to end the war, and that Mr. Nixon will take all steps to stop the killing in Vietnam. And Ziegler underlined the President's objective and said it is to reach a settlement in Vietnam that will be a lasting settlement. Earlier today, Kissinger's chief assistant, General Alexander-Haig, returned from Southeast Asia. He had spent 2 days in Saigon and brought back with him a letter to Mr. Nixon, a personal letter from South Vietnam President Thieu. General Haig also had gone to Cambodia, to Laos, and Thailand, as well as to South Vietnam, and today he spent 2 hours reporting details, 2 hours reporting to the President and to Henry Kissinger. Clifford Evans at the Florida White House in Key Biscayne for WOR News.
South Vietnamese government sources have disclosed some details of Thieu's letter. They say that he is ready to make concessions about the makeup of a national council which would set up future elections for South Vietnam. Thieu had been opposed to anything that might appear to be a coalition government with the communists. But Thieu is said to be still opposed to any peace agreement until North Vietnamese soldiers are withdrawn from the South. Saigon government says its military forces will have a 24-hour Christmas ceasefire. United States forces will honor that ceasefire in the South, but there is no word on whether the air raids on the North will be suspended for that period. Tonight's scheduled medical report on the condition of former President Harry Truman said that his blood pressure has dropped with a pulse rate somewhat rapid. That was as specific as Truman's personal physician, Dr. Wallace Graham, would get. Mr. Truman lapsed into unconsciousness today after going through the first stages of a period in which his heartbeat became unstable. The 88-year-old Mr. Truman is still termed in very serious condition at Kansas City's Research Hospital. More news in just a moment.